Hello, welcome to Mental Health Awareness Week 2020. My name is Sarah Sparks. I'm an award-winning coach, author and speaker, and I help busy professionals thrive at work, not just survive.
And I'm Letitia Rowlin. I'm currently the risk partner for health and wellbeing at Willis Towers Watson, and I help businesses manage their risks in relation to workplace stress and mental health, and I'm also a coach. This week is Mental Health Awareness Week, and the theme of the week is kindness. So I'm going to be talking this week to Peter Kelly, the senior psychologist from the Health and Safety Executive.
And I'm going to be speaking to Rob Stevenson from Inside Out, and also Dr. Sophie Bostock, who is a sleep expert. So, Letitia, the theme this year is kindness. So what does kindness mean to you?
Yes. What does kindness mean to me? Well, I think when we think about kindness, it's often thinking about the kind things that we do for other people. So it's the things we do, it's the things we say to each other as well, and perhaps sometimes the things we don't say. I think what's been really heartwarming at the moment is all the acts of kindness we've seen, particularly in the midst of this coronavirus pandemic. The little things people have done for each other, helping neighbours out, or, taking food to the local hospital. And I think it's created that real feel-good feeling, in times where, it's really, really not very nice times.
It is tricky times, isn't it?
Yeah. So what do you think, Sarah?
Well, I came across a survey actually earlier this week that Sheryl Sandberg of Lean In and SurveyMonkey had done in April. And I was really quite surprised to hear just how few people felt that their bosses were actually checking in on saying, how are they? I think it was, let me just check the statistics here. I think it was a quarter of people felt that their managers and bosses were actually checking in to find out how they were doing. And I think that's a real challenge right now, because as you said, people are doing acts of kindness, but are they doing enough? I think people are really struggling actually with what's going on right now. It's like a cauldron of things that could actually really set off mental ill health, with all this uncertainty, no end in sight, financial worries, having to potentially homeschool kids or be on your own at home, or being with people that actually you quite love, but actually you're on top of each other. And I found myself actually not being very kind to my partner this week, and I'm hanging my head in shame. We were pottering around in the kitchen, and I was a bit short and snappy about something that hadn't been done. And he actually turned to me and said, I know that you're focusing on kindness for Mental Health Awareness Week, but I don't think that was very kind. So I know for myself that I've got more work that I can do in terms of looking out for other people and being kinder.
But an interesting point you raised though, Sarah. So you said there you didn't feel like you were very kind in that situation this week. And I think we can, if we're not being kind to ourselves, if we're not doing the things which enable us to thrive and enable us to feel good, then I think sometimes that can wear us down, and it means we can perhaps be less compassionate to others than we otherwise would be. But I don't think that means we're unkind people. We're still kind people. It's just sometimes it's the old, you've got to, have a full cup, don't you, before you pour from it. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. And I think that's very true for me. When I don't have a full cup to pour from, I am not the kindest person on the planet. I know that. So when we think about kindness, I believe we absolutely have to be kind to ourselves first and foremost in order to be able to be kind to other people. And historically, I've not done that enough, which is why I burnt out. How have you been, Letitia, about being kind to yourself?
Ooh, I think there's room for improvement this week, I think is the fair thing to say. I think to be kind to yourself, you've got to really learn to listen to yourself, don't you? And it's listening to your body, listening to the things you're saying to yourself, how you're talking to yourself. And yeah, I suppose really being in tune with yourself, because it's only if you get that you can actually challenge yourself and say, actually, am I being kind here? I think for me personally, this last week's been incredibly busy, and I've noticed things have slipped. So the exercise has slipped, the not eating as well as I could do has slipped. And all of those things are acts of kindness towards yourself, because they're there so that you feel mentally well and able to perform and do what you need to do. So I think I could be kinder to myself at times. And I think also with kindness, sometimes we're very hard on ourselves. And if we actually took a step back and said, would you speak to your friend like that or your partner like that? And what would you say to them in that situation? What do you think? Would it be different?
I would not dream of saying to other people what I say about myself to myself. And I wouldn't put other people through what I put myself through. So I do know that actually I am my own worst enemy. And I see that a lot when I'm working with my clients, that they too are really hard taskmasters on themselves. So this week, when we're talking about being kind, I think it's really important to be kind to ourselves. And the best way I know how to start with that is for me to get enough sleep. Because if I don't have enough sleep, then I'm a bear, a complete and utter bear to be with. What's your thing, Letitia?
Sleep's right up there for me. I think, if I don't sleep enough, then that really does impact on me. And I think exercise for me as well. I know that if I exercise, it allows me to come out of my head, my thinking head, and get into my body. And that for me really works, as I know it does I often hear that works for a lot of people. And, it's those simple things of kindness. And those are the things which we do to look after our mental health and our physical health. So
absolutely,
those kindness is integral.
Yeah, it's absolutely integral. And I was just thinking about that, because what I find is that also helps my mental health is actually doing acts of kindness for other people. So it's kind of a virtuous circle, actually, that if I want to feel good, if one of the best things I can do is go and help other people. So it really does work.
It does work, doesn't it? And it gets me thinking that about the 5 ways to well-being. And one of the things in there is to give and give to others. And it doesn't have to be big things, does it? It can sometimes be something very small, and particularly if somebody is struggling and feeling bad. And I know I've certainly been in this place before, and then somebody has said something really kind to me, and it really touches you, and it does have a tremendous power to just make somebody feel better, just feel like they're seen and they're cared for. And it doesn't have to be much at all. It's the simplest of things. So, kindness is a feeling. It's very much a feeling as well as an act.
Oh, I so agree. And that feeling you get, that sort of probably an oxytocin hit, which one of the things I love about the hormones that we have going through our bodies is, oxytocin does make us feel good, but it also is a muscle relaxant. Did you know that? It actually increases so I can get this around the right way, the blood vessel size. So actually we feel much calmer because oxytocin is going around the body. So isn't that just wonderful?
Wonderful.
Now, I know we've got a challenge coming up. What have we got coming up for this week, Letitia?
We have. So we're going to set a challenge for the week. Hopefully you will all join us and participate. We'll be doing it each day. And the challenge is simple. It is to do 1 act of kindness a day, or you can observe 1 act of kindness a day. And all you need to do is then notice what happens to you. What do you feel like?
And if you'd like to just post in the comments below about your act of kindness and how it made you feel, or your observed act of kindness, if you know that person that did that act of kindness, please tag them in and share the love. So that's what we'd love you to do this week. Please join us. We're going to be running these interviews at the same time every evening. So please join us in the next one, which will be this time tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.